Hey Berserkers, I am executive producer Krista Saxon and veteran actress of 25 years. And I am here to give it to you straight, which is what I always do. So love me or hate me, I'm totally transparent. And all I do is tell the truth because I've been around so many freaking liars and they're disgusting. I don't want nothing to do with them. So sorry for my straightforwardness, but it's the way it is. And trust me, it'll benefit you based on our experience in the film industry and movie distribution and spending money and unions and doing all the things that we do as investors and filmmakers who believe in a film and we bring it to life. So anyway, I want to give you guys the 10 red flags to watch out for in your film contract. And this is with a distributor. Do not sign it until you watch this video. So, because if you don't, if you're not aware of these things beforehand, believe you me, it will cost you thousands to tens of thousands to just make nothing on your movie at all, and they'll steal it. And you face that quite a bit anyways with distributors, so that's why eventually we're going to want to go without the middleman, but you can also still build a business, even with a distribution deal, even if they do end up stealing your revenue, because they can do that because there's no oversight for them. There's no unions that protect investors or the job providers. It's just, they can do whatever they want. In fact, they hold hands with them. So that's what I've learned. Anyway, red flag number 1 is no defined payment terms. If your contract says you'll get paid when the revenues allow, it's time to put your shoes on and run, okay? Because this vague language means you'll likely never ever see a dime. And you want to demand clear terms on exactly when and how you get paid. So, for instance, with our distributor, which was Vision Films, I do not recommend, absolutely not. With our distributor, the way that we were able to access our information, our movie revenue data, was through an online portal. And I could just log in there and see how my movie was doing. And it says 0, 0, 0. And then they'll say 0, 0, 1 penny, 0, 0, 0. And then I was able to see other films too, and it was the same stuff. So everybody was just getting reported 0. So then when it comes to the quarterly reporting, you will see a deficit reported as well, because of course then they have to report all the costs and fees it is to share and stream your movie. Okay. But anyway, so I just wanted to let you know, no defined payment terms. You want to make that very clear. So when you read your contract, look for that number 1 sign, and then make sure to make those payment terms clear for you, okay? Red flag number 2, high delivery costs hidden in the fine print. Oh, no, 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 no. They're already getting a percentage, most likely, of the revenue on your movie, plus whatever else they want, because they can. However, you don't want to pay more fees, the delivery costs, than you have to, okay? That's how the deficit sets in, because they start adding all these invoices and billing that are completely fudged. They're complete bull crap. And that's how distributors make their money. It's really off of you and your production. And the higher budget you have, the more that they're going to be billing you. Because whenever people smell a budget, they go absolutely insane. Like it's a great big fat juicy steak, okay? So beware of distributors who bury the delivery costs deep in the fine print. I've seen filmmakers lose tens of thousands in their surprise expenses, and you always want to audit these details. I don't know why I said bury. Okay, I don't even talk like that. So beware of distributors who bury, I say bury, the costs deep in the fine print. So make sure that you read through the whole thing, because oftentimes they're aware that you're unaware of the way that their system works. You just think, oh, well, it's going to be, 30% back end deal, and we split the revenue 70-30, well, whatever it's going to be. And then you'll sign the contract because you're happy to have a deal, because you know that it's very rare that you're going to have a ton of distributors chasing after your film, because they've got so many movies, so much content out there right now just being thrown at them. Not to mention, a lot of the streaming platforms are being bought out by the studio or owned by the studios, and they're making their own content, and they have their own analytics and data and all that AI stuff that they're telling you guys to stay away from. They're using it to their benefit, so they know what's going to be successful before they put a dime out to pay for that movie, based on the genre, based on the storyline, based on the emotional high and low points of the movie, based on the final outcome of the movie, based on character arcs, based on the IP, all those things. And so a lot of us filmmakers go in saying, yeah, I'd really love to tell this story. This story is so close to my heart, or this has so much meaning for me, but it does it to the rest of the world. Is it a real moneymaker? Will it really resonate with people to where they're going to share it with the world? And then the world is going to enjoy it just the same and share it as well. And it goes viral and then makes you a bunch of money, only for the distributor to just take it because they got these buried expenses and zero revenue that they're paying out to anybody because they have no oversight. So we got a big vicious cycle going on. So that's why in my master course, I teach how to navigate through this whole system, use everything to your benefit, just as I did when I created a software application for the Uber and Lyft situation at certain airports around the country, because it was a way to utilize their own technology, their own business process against them. Okay, so that's the bottom line. So make sure that you read through all of the fine print and beware of the distributors who bury the delivery costs deep in the fine print. Okay, so red flag number 3 is the negative self-reporting. Oh gosh. And so many, I follow a lot of the, Facebook groups that talk about all of this. And it's very fascinating because many of the questions that will be on there is, hey, did you make anybody make any money yet? And a ton of people answer, nope, 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 nope. Did your distributor pay out? What's your situation? Oh, and then we got all the predatory distributor pages and all the stories, and then all the YouTube videos talking about it, because so many people have been just hurt by these people, and it's a shame. And it's just been accepted because everybody accepts the starving artist thing and says, and almost it makes it like justified it to like, you know what, we just got to keep the grind, man. We just got to keep going. And that's what they want you to think. Just keep going, man. And then we're going to keep taking it from you. And we're going to keep laughing at you. And we're going to keep kicking you in the back, right face down. And we got all your money, your IP. We got everything on you. Oh, who's your buddy? Send him my way. It's the same thing with every single one of them. And if you're a distributor who's not, feel free to come out and show us receipts. Filmmakers, show receipts of where you've made money off these guys. So, and like I've said before, a lot of the directors and writers, you guys don't have access to the reporting because you didn't put the funding up. So you were hired to perform a service. So there's some directors that will say, well, my movies make money, because they believe, of course they did, because they're still working and doing other movies. But then at the end of the day, they don't have any receipts to show for this. There's no proof of that. So when somebody approaches and says, hey, I'd like to make a $900,000 movie. Let's get some funding and do this. Okay, what have you made before? Well, what? They don't know because you've never made money. Oh, wait, what has your budget's been before? I did one for $10,000. So you guys, this is why it's important to really, really understand the business, what you're getting yourself into, because you have to know how they operate so that you can go in with eyes wide open and clarification and know exactly how you're going to recoup that money back and be able to pay your cast and your crew and, get funding again for another film. You want to build an empire out of this, right? It's not just a one done thing. You guys are artists, creators. This is what you do. We can't keep letting these guys just rob us blind, So the negative self-report is a very common thing that happens. So if your distributor self-reports without transparent auditing rights for you, you're going to expect trouble. You ask for audit rights, or better yet, include them in your contract yourself. And even if there is the auditing, you can conduct an audit on your distributor. Who's to say that they can't still hide all that information. So one thing that it said in our contract with Vision Films was I needed to sign off to approve any global, international sales with other territories. And when I first got the distributor contract, before I signed the contract, the deal, when she was trying to get us to sign the deal, because we had Academy Award nominee Bruce Stern, and Bruce Stern is well known to be in Tarantino movies. Tarantino's a huge fan of Bruce Stern. You know, he does have a name as Laura Dern's father, a great actor and well-respected actor, and he's legendary. You know, he was one of the first. He was the first movie character to shoot John Wayne in a movie, first or second, whatever. You know, it's just it goes way back to those legendary days. She wanted the movie, and she knew that she could make money off of this movie because to them, names are what sell. Names are where the asset lies within a film, is having big names in it, and especially globally. Other countries, they love big names, and they're very big on the whole Hollywood thing and celebrity and all of that. So when I first got projections from her, and I read over a projections pages that was broken down per territory, and how much she anticipated revenue to be from each country. So say France, $200,000, and I still have it. And I provide all of this in the master course for Berserkers to review, because this is very important to get a glimpse of and to see what can actually happen. Because at the time I was very excited, and I said, oh my goodness, this alone, you know, lets me know that we're going to more than double the budget. And the budget was 1.3 million. And then when I saw the projection sheet and it laid it out per territory and all of the money that we were going to make, I was like, oh, wow, this is great. So when it came down to it, and she finally I signed the contract, we signed the deal, movie was hers to sell and do what she needed to do with, get on all the streaming platforms, did that, then reported it in a deficit every quarter. So we owed her $40,000 by the first quarter, $48,000 second quarter. Like, it was ridiculous. And I was like, okay, so you took our $1.3 million asset. You're getting 30% on the back end from us, but then you're telling us to make zero. So you're taking 100% of all of it and then some. Yeah, that's a great business model, but that's the business model of these people who feel that it's okay to do it to people outside of their circle. And that's the way it works. So anyway, when I signed it, I was super excited, and I thought, you know, I'm so happy. The investing team, my personal family is going to get their money back. My people in aviation, all this, we're going to get money back immediately once we get this streamed. And our initial sales agent, Oscar-winning producer, did not get us a deal at all. And I learned that's because he knew that 1.3 million was way too high of a budget for him to flip on a movie. And he had told us it was going to be a Netflix original, or he was going to sell it to Universal, which he usually does. But I'm going to tell you something, those budgets are way too high. It is not realistic to make $1 million movie ever for an independent film. Please don't come and tell me 2 million, 5 million. Bull crap. I call bull crap on that, because you do not make anything off of those movies. And if you do, it will be probably 40, 50 years, or based off your IP if you know the business model. But then again, a lot of those directors don't have access to the reporting, so and I hear them talk on podcasts and say, yeah, every one of my movies makes money. Well, until you can show receipts, I don't buy it for not for 1 millisecond, because I know better. Okay. So when I finally did get the reports, and she said that she did sell it to a couple of the territories, and it was like Germany, because they reached out to me directly wanting my movie. And I was like, hey, what's going on here? Because they told me that they were communicating with you and whatever. She goes, oh yeah, I ended up doing a license deal with them, and it was just for $1,200, and all bundled with 3 other movies. I said, you're kidding, right? And all of the documentation is found within my Filmmaker Berserk master course. This is a non-AI course. This is about building your infrastructure for the business as a filmmaker, building an empire as a filmmaker, how to control your IP, how to, develop your screenplay from beginning to delivery, on mitigating all the extra costs that you face whenever you make a movie from, you know, because of course there's so much when it comes to post-production and the quality control process and all the bull crap that goes along with that, the distributor will try to charge you for, because that's where they make their money, is those technical fees and everything. And I break it down for you, what won't pass quality control, and I show you their actual reports on my movie on where they failed, and we had to go and fix all these technical glitches, from aliasing on the bridge to equipment found in shots to reflections, and we go over all of that and show you, and then show you how much it cost us to fix that, and then what the distributor charged. And you have to use their vendors, so now you got third-party vendors who are in the mix, and it has to be through them so that they're all sharing the cost and hooking up their friends and all that kind of stuff. This is very important for filmmakers to see and understand and master, so that you know going forward how to approach a potential investor. So I went through all of our pitches that we started with, and told the whole story, and showed all the documentation, all the insurance requirements, all the SAG union information, and what that entailed as well. So, you know, I just hope that you take a look at that and understand on the website with the master course, or not, but it's just, it will really absolutely save your film. And for the cost of it, it's absolutely nothing compared to what you would lose had you not had this information. Okay. So, red flag number 4 is excessive rights grab. Distributors often sneak in rights to sequels, merchandising, even territories they'll never sell to. Limit your rights explicitly. Don't get robbed blind. Number 5, undefined marketing spend. This was another thing that we faced. We had a $30,000 marketing cap. I had another deal, distribution deal that was supposedly through Lionsgate with our Oscar-winning producing team. And he gave me the contract, because now suddenly he was not just a producer, a sales agent. Now he was also a middleman distributor. Then he gave me the contract, and I laughed like hell, because I was like, well, how dumb do you think I am? Like, don't let my look fool you to think I'm some stupid idiot. Come on. So I read the contract. It was $150,000 marketing fee on top of that. And yeah, no go, buddy. And I told him where to shove that. So red flag number 6, no clause for performance termination. Always ensure there's a termination clause if the distributor fails to deliver. If they sit on your film without results, you need a clear exit strategy. I cannot say that enough, okay? Clear exit strategy. I had to jump over my desk and go ballistic, okay? So, and then fly out there to find her office, which was sitting on top of a postal store. Okay, fake address, hiding behind everything, right? She was under the desk. Red flag number 8, uncapped expense deductions. Distributors might deduct expenses endlessly, leaving you with nothing. Cap those deductions clearly and force accountability. Red flag number 9, control over final cut or title changes. Be careful if your distributor demands creative control, for sure, or the right to alter your title without your approval. Protect your film and your branding. Red flag number 10, vague definition of revenue. Distributors might define revenue in ways that drastically reduce your earnings. Always clarify exactly what counts as revenue and what doesn't. Don't be afraid to sit down and go over this whole contract with them. Let them know that they need to know their place, because they're working for you. You don't work for them, but they're going to try to make it seem like you work for them, and they're doing you a damn favor. No, no, no. You work for me now, okay? I'm giving you access to 30% of all the work and funding that we use to create this entire thing that's going in your library. Now, you look at somebody like this distributor, $30,000 marketing cap for each film. And I've already talked about it in a previous video that the marketing is really all the people in the credits who worked on the production, from all the locations, to the businesses involved, to the catering companies, to your cast, your crew, all sharing on their social medias, who's each got thousands of followers, because that's their whole life, is their brand, their likeness, their name, their face. So the distributors see that and know that first in revenue is always the first amount of revenue to come in on any movie, especially with an independent film, but even the major studio films. First in revenue upon the release is where the movie makes the most money for the life of that film. Okay, so they see all the people that worked on that production, and they know that first in revenue, how big it's going to be based on that list of credits that keeps scrolling and scrolling and scrolling with names and companies. So then they take that $30,000 and they pay themselves and say, oh, we got to pay us for the marketing fee, while they really put out crap for marketing. You can't just do marketing in a couple months. Your marketing has to begin from the time that you green light the film, essentially. So that's another thing we go over in the master course. We go over all of this to build the foundation of your movie business, and know that you have everything solidified that you need, with all the contracts, all the paperwork, and everything. Because if you don't have any of these, and some of it's very weird, we have the chain of title and all of that documentation, but some of it you even need the mailing envelopes for this, showing you need documentation of every detail of this, proving that you have ownership, that you bought out the screenplay rights, you own it, and you have the right to distribute it, because otherwise they could get sued. So that's why with your deliverables, it's all found in the master course, and it's technical deliverables as well, because that's obviously extremely important. I had a filmmaker come to me at Sunscreen Film Fest, Filmmaker Berserk. We were a proud sponsor of Sunscreen Film Fest, and filmmakers came to me. It's like, I have so many questions. And they said that their film failed because of they've got music off Epidemic Sound. And the Epidemic Sound, even though they had a music supervisor, the music off Epidemic Sound did not pass the copyright. So it failed with the distributor when they tried to pass that through. So they used several songs from Epidemic Sound to create the soundtrack of their film and to compose. And so that really hit them hard, because they didn't have the funding, and now they're stuck with this movie that they put big bucks into, big production, and now they have to find a way to recompose, do the music all over again, and make it just as brilliant as it was before, because they didn't know that it would fail copyright once it went to distribution. So these are things that you have to very firmly be aware of. And, and the reason I say it is because I learned the hard way. This has been 9 years in the making for me, and me 25 years in the movie industry. I see filmmakers today who I've tried to tell them what I experienced, and they're like, oh yeah, we're really sorry you went through that. No, it's not me that went through that. Everybody goes through that. You haven't made a dime. In fact, your biggest budget that you've ever spent is from what my people have given you. But, I've seen people who are like, oh yeah, that's just something you went through. No. And then they go try to do it, and then they come back and say, oh, you're right. And they make all these movies for nothing and make no money, and then they're stuck because the system is designed to screw them and prey off of your vulnerability, which is your creative art. And the people that tell me, well, I'm not here to make money. I don't want to make, I just want to, I'm not greedy. It's not about being greedy. So you're telling me that, how do you pay your cast? Oh, that's a good question. You don't pay them. So if you don't pay your cast, how much are you contributing to your community? If you don't pay your crew, if you don't provide for all the people that are, sweating their asses off, working every day for you, showing up to these locations, calling off other jobs to be there, spending their own money to be there, on their wardrobe and doing stuff, the things to help make your production and your vision the best they can, how are you really contributing and helping them? So you at least need to bring in money to give back to your community who's helping you achieve your dreams, right? So it only makes sense. I don't know. So that's just a question I always have, because people say to me, well, I do it because I love it. I just do. And they want to argue because they're so afraid that I'm going to make money or whatever. Look, I got 1.3 million into this, and 1.3 million reasons why you can trust me and count on what I'm saying, because I've walked the walk. I've traveled the country. I've been around so many executive producers. I've read the reports. I've seen the reports and the receipts and all the financials, and I prove it and show it on my master course. I take you all inside the books. So I hope you guys go to my website, filmmakerberserk.com, and just either sign up for the wait list or join our email list and join our master course and learn all about the film biz. And I would love to hear what your thoughts are on that. And if anybody has proof of receipts, I would love to see it. You can join our Facebook or any of our socials. I'll have everything down below for you guys, and then we can all communicate and discuss everything. If any questions on what I said, I'll be happy to answer in the comments. So thank you guys, and we will see you later, Berserkers.